We're back already at Walt Disney World Resort. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Oh, sorry. Just getting in the mood for our stay. See, for my birthday, Gene said I could have my choice. I could either stay at Animal Kingdom for 2 days, or I could stay at Pop Century for a whole week. Well, what would you choose? No, I mean really, what would you choose? Let me know in the comment section below. As for me, I chose Pop Century. I know I've been complaining about the genericizing of all of Disney's resorts, but on Pop Century, it looks good. I mean, check out our room. We got a wheelchair accessible preferred queen with 2 queen beds. Well, one of them is a table that turns into a queen bed, but that means there's plenty of room to maneuver a wheelchair in these rooms, and with the preferred room, here's our view. With the pandemic not yet in our rear view, Disney's still taking precautions. Oh, I always wonder what those hooks were for. Check out our wheelchair accessible bathroom. I didn't have any trouble turning my chair around in here at all. There's plenty of space under the roll under sink, and there's a vanity mirror for me to fix my makeup in. And just kidding, it's too hot for makeup. The roll-in shower itself has a fold-down shower chair and an adjustable shower head. Now, also hanging inside the bathroom is the ironing board, but the iron and hairdryer are tossed unceremoniously outside the door in the bottom of the closet. It's okay, I'm on vacation, I really don't need either of them. The pedestal toilet has plenty of grab rails, and although they're shiny aluminum and look like towel racks, they seem to be pretty sturdy. I've never really understood the toilet paper holder placement. I mean, there's got to be some reasoning to it, but hey guys, that's where my knee goes. Oh, and make sure you open the bathroom door all the way. It can be a bit of a tight squeeze, and it looks like I'm not the first to discover this. One of the things I really love about Pop Century are the icons. They remind me of my childhood. Growing up in the 60s and 70s was really cool. I remember riding big wheels. Yes, they are that old. I even had a Duncan butterfly. They were supposed to be the best for doing tricks. About the only trick I ever mastered was the sleeper. You know, where the yo-yo goes to the bottom of the string and hangs there, and then you pull it up? Well, in reality, mine was less of a sleeper and more of a dyer. I didn't have any problems with the yo-yo going to the bottom, but I never really got it to come back up. See, me, I was really more of a clacker person. That I was actually good at. Until, of course, they decided they were dangerous and stopped selling them. See, now that wasn't the problem. The problem was my mom found out, and that was the end of my budding clacker career. They came out with a new style a couple years later, but it really wasn't the same. I was also really good with a pogo stick. That is, until my mom saw me jumping without hands and jumping off of our porch. Well, time to look for another pastime. I found an old scooter in the backyard and fixed it up and got it running. It was pretty good. But I must have lost that skill. Just ask my 2 youngest. They'll probably tell you about the last time I tried a scooter. Well, if they can stop laughing anyway. I also love the old 8-track tape icons. In 1994, long after the demise of 8-tracks, we bought an old Oldsmobile Limited with an 8-track player. And after searching through thrift stores in Virginia Beach, I finally found a tape. My 5-year-old twins were introduced to Jethro Tull's Aqualung on the back roads of North Carolina. That really kind of explains a lot. Anyway, back to the room. During the pandemic, Disney took the opportunity to install a bunch more sanitation stations, and in the room, they're taking extra precautions also. Oh, did I mention that the door locks in the open position to make wheelchair access easier? Anyway, in addition to the extra cleaning, they sanitize the remote for the TV and put it in a bag to ensure that it stays clean. The room is also equipped with a coffee pot, a mini fridge, and a safe. Now down at Everything Pop, mobile ordering is the order of the day. They're even promoting it in the elevators. Wow, I hope that button wasn't important. Anyway, the menu's limited, mostly burgers, chicken strips, and pizzas, or as I like to call it, my 3 favorite food groups. It's kind of weird just picking your food up off the table and bypassing the cashiers, although there is a cashier line still open. After getting your meal, you just have to head over to the drink station where a cast member will get the drinks for you. And remember, all entry is through Classic Hall now. All the other old entries, well, they're just extras now. Monday night, we skipped the resort for my birthday and headed over to one of my favorite restaurants at Disney Springs. But for more on that, see next week's As Bob Sees It. You can also head on over to my Patreon page and help me pay for that meal. I wonder if the resorts will keep mobile ordering after the pandemic. It means the annual pass holders surrender their 10 or 20% discount on some restaurants, so win-win for Disney. I did take the opportunity at Everything Pop to pick up the SKYLINER coffee mug I've wanted, with a 20% discount I might add. Another area where Disney's response to the pandemic is evident is the Disney SKYLINER. Pop Century has SKYLINER connections to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. The social distancing markings, they go back a quarter of a mile. And talking to a cast member, he's saying the line and go all the way back to there. He said that it takes about an hour to get the early rush onto the gondola cars. One group to a gondola. All 3 pools have reopened, including the computer pool over in the 80s area. But I don't think anybody's really staying in those buildings right now. No, I was never a computer geek, but I've always been impressed with Disney's attention to detail, like the pool mechanical room that looks like a stack of floppy disks. I'd never had a Walkman. They didn't exist when I was a kid, but one Christmas my parents, I mean Santa, got me a Sears play tape. I was able to take my bike on trips with my play tape in a basket, playing the only tape I owned, Leonard Nimoy. Yeah. Well, the first time we stayed at Pop Century, we were in the 50s section, and the kids loved the bowling pin pool. They were in it every day. 50s rock and roll music is playing over the speakers, and it's easy to imagine the tunes are coming from that nearby jukebox. I also love the fact that the laundry and restrooms are located in the bowling shoe rack. Explains some of the smell. The third and main pool is the Hippy Dippy pool. It's also the location of Pedal's Pool Bar. Located directly in the center of the resort, it's here that the recreation cast members present games and music on the pool deck all afternoon.
Thank you guys all so much for coming out and playing with me. I'll be back in a little bit with another poolside game.
It just goes to show you that you don't need to go to the parks to have fun. And you don't need to go back to the room to take a shower. Yep, the pools at Pop Century are some of the best, and Disney provides lifeguards at all of them, no matter how lonely that may be. Wednesday, we headed over to the Polynesian Hotel for dinner at Kona Cafe. It gave me a chance to catch up on the construction of both the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser and Marriott's Cove Hotel near the Swan and Dolphin. The Poly is my second favorite themed resort, and Kona is one of my favorite restaurants. Our server, Macarena, told us that they changed the recipe on the bread, and that explains a lot. I actually prefer the Hawaiian bread rolls we get at home. Jean tried sushi for the first time. She ordered the surf and turf specialty rolls, and although she still hasn't mastered chopsticks, she really seemed to enjoy her meal. Matter of fact, she said she really liked it. I, on the other hand, made an important discovery. Although I really liked my lobster and crab macaroni and cheese, and most of my Kona braised short rib, you really don't need to order both. I should have just ordered the mac and cheese and called it a meal. Or maybe they should offer a smaller bowl of the mac and cheese as a side dish. There, Disney, some free advice from somebody who couldn't finish their mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. Of course, there's really only one reason to head over the Polynesian from your own resort, and I don't need to say any more. Thursday was our chance to check out changes at Hollywood Studios. I really wanted to take the Disney SKYLINER over to see how it really was in the heat, but I didn't want to be crazy about it, so I went to check out the SKYLINER line. And then went back to bed. At a more reasonable hour, I headed over to the studios by the SKYLINER. I wanted to see if it would be too hot in the summertime. Jean didn't want to go on the SKYLINER because of the heat, so as I headed to the SKYLINER, she headed to the car. It's the end of August, and I'm in a Disney SKYLINER. And it's really not that hot in here, even though it's 94 degrees outside. They were right about the wind. As long as you keep moving, you're good. There was one slight problem, though. They didn't load me in a normal way. They actually just slowed the gondolas down, and I kind of rolled in with them still moving, even though it was a slow clip. I don't know if I can back out the same way, though, so it'll be interesting to see how they do this. After a bit of a bumpy landing on the Epcot ride into the Caribbean beach, I was able to join up with the Hollywood Studios line using the standard handicap loading procedures. I'm looking down in the parking lot to see if Jean got a good spot or not. She drove over. We have a white SUV. You know how many white SUVs there are? We made it just in time for our reservations at the Brown Derby. Now that the original Brown Derby's closed, it's left to Disney to carry on the traditions, and I think they've done a pretty good job. Jean had an appetizer as her main course so she could save room for dessert. Me? Well, just like our trip to the park, I took a different course. A main course, if you will. For dessert, Jean went with the Brown Derby's traditional grapefruit cake, and I skipped dessert. She really took her time enjoying her dessert, while I kept my eye on the time. At precisely 2 p.m., I hit the Join a Boarding Group button, and got Backup Group 74. Well, they were currently on boarding groups 34 through 43. As we arrived back at Pop Century, the first rain we'd seen all week came down. What happened over at Hollywood Studios? Well, I'm going to save that for another episode of As Bob Sees It. I hope you'll join us. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed Disney's Pop Century Resort. If you like this video, why not give it a big thumbs up? That way I'll know I'm headed in the right direction and I'll continue pushing on. If you'd like to help us make more of these kind of videos, you can join us as a member of our Patreon team. Providing us with as little as $1 a month will really help us out. Just head on over to Patreon/AsBobSeesIt. You can also share it with your friends and family. You can also see more of these videos by subscribing to the channel. It's free. Just click on the subscribe button down below. But remember, when you do subscribe, don't forget to click on that bell icon. That way you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.